Indians love cars. But do car companies love India?
Big breaking coming from
the largest US car company.
General Motors last week announced it will stop selling cars in India. Another US auto major, Ford, will cease its India operations, in fact manufacturing ones.
There are 6.5 lakh unsold cars of rupees 60,000 crore worth of inventory.
Are Indians finally quitting buying four-wheelers?
What went wrong?
Job cuts and huge losses.
Why they had to take such extreme step here?
In 2017, General Motors exited India. In 2021, the same thing happened with American giant Ford. Despite investing significantly in India, Ford has accumulated more than $2 billion in operating losses over its last 10 years of operation in India. The same can be said with European giants like Volkswagen and Skoda. Even after decades of operating in India, they have yet to take a strong hold of the Indian market. On the other hand, a relatively unknown South Korean car manufacturer struck gold in the Indian market. It not only beat the pride of India like Tata and Mahindra, but went on to become India's second largest car maker. With 13 models on sale, currently Hyundai India has the second largest market share of 14.6% in passenger vehicles. Now, after 28 years of operating in India, Hyundai is going public and it wants to raise 25,000 crore with its IPO, which could end up being the biggest IPO in the Indian stock market history. So, in a tale of contrasting fortunes, while American automakers are leaving and European automakers are struggling, how did a South Korean brand make its fortune in India? In 1991, the Indian economy got liberalized and opened its door for foreign companies to sell and set up shop in India. Hyundai Motors was one of the front runners capitalizing on the fledgling Indian economy. But it was not an easy ride for Hyundai. In the early 90s, Maruti, Hindustan Motors and Premier Automobiles used to dominate the Indian market. So it was a tough one to crack for a company that was unknown to almost every Indian. If you can observe, all the foreign automobile companies took a specific approach where they directly imported high-end cars and sold them to rich Indian customers. But Hyundai observed some major issues with this approach. Like the after-sales services were terrible, the imported cars were not coping up with the Indian weather and the road conditions, and lastly, there is a huge market available for the Indian middle class. So Hyundai made a bold move. Hyundai decided to set up a manufacturing unit in a nation that just emerging from economic liberalization. In 1996, Hyundai invested around 8.12 billion rupees in India and incorporated as Hyundai Motor India Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of Hyundai Motor Company. A relatively new plant in Canada was dismantled and moved to the southern state of Tamil Nadu to set up its manufacturing unit. To maintain its international standards and control the cost of capital components like body parts, headlights, engine parts, Hyundai brought in South Korean makers and vendors to localize the manufacturing process. Till now, Hyundai has invested around $5 billion in its two production facilities located in Irungatukottai and Sri Perumbudur. If you can see, this gave them three superpowers over their rivals. First, it helped Hyundai design and build cars suited for typical Indian conditions. The second superpower that it gave was that it not only helped Hyundai produce cars at scale, but also helped Hyundai to source its car parts locally, which made the cost of the cars more affordable than its competitors. Hyundai now sources 77% of its car parts locally. And lastly, while other car makers were busy importing, this gave them the superpower of exporting to over 80 countries. And you'll be amazed to know that since 1998, Hyundai has sold around 12 million passenger vehicles in India and through exports. As of March 31st this year, Hyundai was India's largest exporter of passenger cars from FY 2005 to the first 11 months of FY 2024. Hyundai knew they could not beat Maruti Suzuki in terms of price, so they have adopted a different strategy. The company came up with a car with extra comfort and more features, which goes by the name the Santro. The Santro was an adapted version of Hyundai's Alto city car with 80% of its car parts sourced locally, lowering the cost by almost 40% and keeping the price competitive. It won hearts with its tall boy design and spacious cabin. The Santro came loaded with features that were uncommon in its class, such as powered steering, front grille and a rear spoiler. It also offered an optional 4-speed automatic transmission, which was a rarity in the entry-level segment. And as you can guess, the car turned a cash profit in the first year of commercial operations. 16 years later, by the time it retired, it had sold around 2 million units and had been exported to North America, Europe and parts of Asia. Santro's success has many reasons, from focusing on better services in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, to offering a 2-year warranty for the first time in India, to re-engineering the car to survive Mumbai's monsoons with an air conditioner powerful enough to take on Rajasthan summer. And most importantly, making Shah Rukh Khan as their brand ambassador created a strong recall for the little-known Korean brand. The Santro built the foundation for Hyundai's success in India. But was it enough for Hyundai? Absolutely not. Just like in the early 2000s, Hyundai took the opportunity and launched an entry-level product, the Santro, Hyundai continued this trend by launching a mid-range product like the Grand i10 in 2007 and an upper mid-range product like the i20 in 2008. Both the cars offered premium features at reasonable price, and they were a massive hit in the Indian market. But the best was yet to come. The mid-sized monocoque chassis-based compact SUV has been a high growth and a highly contested segment in India. Hyundai observed that modern consumers in India are moving away from traditional fuel-efficient, budget-friendly small cars and towards a higher-priced, feature-loaded premium cars. But with the launch of Renault Duster in 2012, this segment got kicked off. Despite having budget interiors from East Europe, the Renault Duster caught the imagination of Indian audience and became an instant hit due to its rugged and outdoorsy compact SUV look. Fast forward to 2015, this was the time when Hyundai decided to pitch in their product in this highly potential segment and launched Creta. It had everything from an upright SUV stance to extra space to premium interiors and a long list of features without being as expensive as premium cars. So Creta got a tremendous response from the Indian customers. Creta helped Hyundai achieve a 17.7% share in the fast-growing SUV segment, which now accounts over half of the passenger vehicle market by volume, compared to just 23% 6 years ago. And lastly, Hyundai isn't the only Korean company to strike gold in India. They replicated their success with their subsidiary company Kia Motors. Kia Motors, which began selling its vehicle here in 2019, followed in the footsteps of its parent company, has already become the country's 5th largest car manufacturer with just 3 models. Now let's talk about the future of Hyundai in India. Hyundai wants to double down on its remarkable success in India, and in order to do so, they are now committing to pump in another $4 billion over the next decade. They want to strengthen their presence in the Indian market, and a key component of this expansion strategy is going to be their new plant in Pune, which they acquired from General Motors last year. Another story that will shape auto businesses is the electric segment. If the Indian passenger vehicle story has been an accelerated shift towards SUVs, globally this story is one of a shift towards electric vehicles and the growing dominance and aggressiveness of Chinese EV makers. In India, EVs accounted for just 2.3% of passenger vehicle sales in FY24, and Tata Motors stood out with a 71% share of India's EV market, while Hyundai's share was around 2%. Now Hyundai aims to increase its share of Indian battery electric vehicle market from 2% to 22% by 2030. So they are now building a battery assembly plant in Chennai with a first phase capacity of 75,000 battery packs annually by 2025. As Europe clamps down on EV imports from China, Hyundai can use India to fill the gap better than supplying from Korea. Hyundai focused on understanding Indian customer needs, sentiments and the industry gaps. So every time they launched a new product, it had a phenomenal response from the Indian customers and became the segment leader. And today, their success is a testament to their understanding of the market and the needs of Indian customers. That's all from today's video. I hope you found this video insightful. If yes, then please consider subscribing this channel for more such insightful case studies. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.